Welcome to the show. It's Real Talk with the Sixth Man. I'm your host, the Sixth Man. This podcast is uncut, unscripted, and we talk about a wide range of topics: black entrepreneurship, social injustice, education, finances, the family dynamic, Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, and mental health, along with many more. It's a Real Talk podcast to empower, educate, encourage, uplift, and inspire, and to allow others to be better than they were yesterday.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna just tell y'all like this. I am in the middle of a hurricane situation, just so y'all know. Nah, but for real, I just want to let everybody know we good. We've been getting texts. I've been getting inboxes. People have been messaging me on Facebook, so we all good. I mean, we've been getting some rain, we're getting some wind right now. They say the storm's supposed to hit Thursday, tomorrow, but it's supposed to hit like 3 hours away up in the Tampa area.
They may hear that every time.
Okay, that's fine.
I know like microphones be sensitive, so it's like it be really knocking.
That's the old lady in her. You hear that? That's the old lady in her. Oh, they might hear the tree knocking. Okay.
It's been sounding scary. Like I've been in here working, and I'll just stop and look at the window. Like it be sounding like it's about to come through the glass.
I don't know what to do with her. I really don't, y'all. I really don't. I do not know what to do with her. Matey, what am I gonna do with your friend, man? Like the tree is gonna be knocking. I'm like, what?
I don't blame angels for hurricanes. I mean, I know.
Last night it was bad though. Last night it was off and on. But when I started dozing off to go to sleep, I was like, damn, it sounded like a monsoon out that joint. It was serious.
Wow.
Yeah, it was serious. So I saw, some of the damage that it's doing up, up north. I mean, not where we at, but I mean, it's the beast that we live in now. So it's something that we, kind of, I don't know, gotta get used to, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's good with you though? What's going on? It's Wednesday. We almost there. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, it's almost Wednesday, but I'm far from the weekend because I have to work all this weekend. However, I'm doing good. I'm having a good week, so I can't complain.
No complaints.
No.
We go almost over. It's almost it. All right. So tonight, man, I love to spread, positive vibes. And I said this earlier before we went live that, we hear so much negativity about young people. We hear so much bad stuff going on in their lives. And sometimes we don't know some of the behind the scenes stuff that's going on when we see their outer actions and how they act and, act out and just do all the stuff that they do. So with that being said, I didn't want to kind of tap into that. I wanted to tap into the more positive side, kind of looking at what some of these bright shining stars are doing out here. And I actually bumped into one. It was kind of, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I think everything happens for a reason, but this young lady that we're going to feature tonight, her mother and I went to college together. And like I say, most of the time, I talk about the college relationship so much because if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't know as many people as I probably know now for as long as I've known them, because college is like a historic thing. Once you go to a HBCU and then your class and everybody that you went with is like, if you still cool with them, you should just still kind of, keep in touch, hang out or whatever. So this young lady's mom, we've been cool for a long time. And I thought when she finally told me what she was doing and I looked at the book and I finally had a chance to read it when I was in Mexico, I was like, okay, so it's basically a book of poems. I was like, oh, okay, bet. So I get to read them and read them and read them. So I put it down a little bit. We go get in the water, do whatever. I come back. So I finally finished it and I hit her mother. I was like, yeah, let's get her on so we can tap into some of this goodness, man. Because we got a young entrepreneur and author. I'm like, damn, and then she plays sports and then she do all this other stuff. So she like a young what is it? What was was it Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman. She like a young Wonder Woman, man. She like a young superhero, man. So we're gonna bring Sydney on. We don't want to keep her long. We know it's a school night. We want to get her in and out, but she's backstage waiting, getting her head done. Mommy doing her nails and all that good stuff. So we're gonna bring her on so we can tap into something that she do. So we're gonna bring Sydney on. What's up, lady? What's going on? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Man, you gotta speak up, man. We can't hear you, man. You
I'm
good?
good.
That's right. We can't hear you young people. Y'all be like, yeah, I'm good. We good. Y'all be all quiet. How you doing tonight? Everything good?
Everything's good.
Everything's
Yeah,
good. So
right.
we wanted to get you on and kind of tap into some of your black magic, your superheroism that you got going on over there. So we're not gonna take too much time. We're gonna kind of stick to all of the points and try to get you in and out because we know we got to get you back in bed, so you need your rest for school tomorrow. So we first just want to start off by just kind of you telling us who you are, who is Sydney, like who is Sydney, and what should we look forward to in Sydney's life this year?
Who is Sydney? Okay, who's not going Sydney? It's got inside or outside of school.
How have you? What? I mean, you pick.
I guess a combination of both. Sydney is ambitious, shy, a dreamer, but
shy. Okay, I'm gonna let you. Okay, I'm gonna let you have that. Shy. Okay.
Very direct. Honest.
I know where you get that from.
Very, very just to herself.
Okay.
A lot. She loves her family and her friends. They are very important people in her life.
Okay.
And just the overall person who just knows that when it comes to life, you will always need people.
Okay. So that's kind of me tapping into my first question for you, right? Because I know a little bit about your mother and some of the backstory that went into with making the book. So I wanted to ask, how does the relationship between you and your mother look, and how important is she to you?
How does our relationship look? We have a very good relationship.
Okay.
I've heard stories about people say that their parents they don't have a good relationship, and I'm glad that me and my mom do have that kind of relationship, because that is my best friend, and she is a very important part of my life because she has always done everything for me and has sacrificed a lot. And I do appreciate that, because most kids don't have parents that will support you and care and put the effort in to trying to help you be better.
That's correct. I'm glad you know that. And again, that's why I want to get this from your perspective, because we're a little older, so we want to tap into how the younger people think, so we can kind of know how to talk the language to get them involved, because there's so much going on. And at the end of the day, you all are the future. I mean, I know Whitney Houston's song is old, but it's a real statement. Like, you are the youth, you are the future. Michael Jackson had one too. You know what I mean? We are the world. I mean, it's just, I feel like the oyster, is on y'all how far y'all want to open up. I would suggest never staying inside of a box. I would say always break that wall and just peek and see what's out there. I mean, because you just never know what type of opportunities you have in any different area. So Amachi, I mean, you're a mom, you're a mother. Like how important was your relationship with your mother? Like, how important was that to you?
Oh well, of course. I mean, my mother, just like Sydney, my mother was my everything. She sacrificed a lot for me, my sister, my brother. So it was very, that's very, very, and especially as Black women and as young girls, you take a lot from your mother and you learn a lot from her. So it's always good to have that nice close relationship with your mother, because I mean, at the end of the day, she's the one who's going to really teach you to be, the true woman that you have to, kind of be out here in this world. So it's really important to have that good relationship.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to agree with that. I mean, I think a mother's relationship is very important, just like the dad. So kind of going into that, my next question is, how did the relationship with your father impact you? Like how much, how important was that to you?
The relationship with my father, uh, I think in a way it made me want to be who I am today. And that's somebody who people can depend on and rely on and trust, because that's not something that I got from him. And I think
Mm,
also him not being there made an impact on me, knowing that I had to be the best that I could be. So, so that personality wise, school and sports and with anything that I do, and my relationship with my father, it was it was something that did hurt me, but it also was kind of my motivation at the same time.
yes, I can understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like my dad wasn't. I think my highest education level for my dad was 12th grade, I believe. So he
Mhm.
didn't have a whole lot of education, right? But he was very good at working, and he ended up getting very good at working and driving and driving trucks and just working. And I always tell people that dads don't have like a handbook, like they don't have like this book that kind of just takes them step by step how to be the best dad, right?
Mhm.
But the only thing that I take away from my father is my father did the best that he could. Like I think any kid that had a relationship with their dad, that's probably what they'll say. My dad did the best that he could. But I think for me, like you're saying, is I wanted to be better than my dad. And I think that every parent, like even you, when you have a child, you're her mother. You want her to be better than you. And I think that's kind of the process. So I'm like, good or bad, whatever the outcome may be for some kids. I mean, I just want them to know that, sometimes the parenting relationship, it doesn't always go the way we want it to go. Trust me. And it doesn't have to always be so, draining and so negative. But at the end of the day, everything that we get from that relationship, we got to learn from it and take it as we go, as we get older in the future. So I would just say, the impact for your dad might not have been what you necessarily were looking forward to, but
Mhm.
always look at it at a way with to look at the bigger result, and that was you, kind of motivating yourself to be, the better version of you. So I would have to applaud you on that,
Yeah.
because I mean that's not an easy task. And I mean at 16, I mean I can go into a deep dive at 16 and tell you some stuff that I was doing, but we wouldn't be able to. We would have to turn, yeah. So
It
Macy,
wouldn't
how
be
how
PG
how how
13.
important was your relationship with your dad? Like how impactful was he to you?
Well, I'm not gonna say like that. My dad was very, he was very impactful. Um, I'm not gonna lie, like me and my dad have had some issues that we had to overcome as I got older. But when I was Sydney's age, we did not have the best relationship. That's when me and him really were struggling to be father and daughter. And it was just a lot of stuff, with my parents on a personal level they were going through that affected the kids. So that's why it was. But however, speaking of that, when I was reading, let me say Sanaa because that's the pen name, Sanaa. When I was reading the poetry from Sanaa, Daddy's Girl really stuck out to me because that's how I was kind of growing up. Like I always wanted to be a daddy's girl, but it never really happened for me. I did have, so I did have a question about that.
Mhm.
Just for, because when I was reading it, I kind of want to try to go back to the teenage me. This would have really, I would have thought I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
So I wanted I just wanted to ask you when you were writing it, especially you had quite a few poems about your dad
Mhm.
or just about fathers, period. How did that I guess how did that help you kind of, or I'm assuming it is helping you, but how did it kind of help you go through this, that kind of patch with, your father not being around, but then actually putting pen to paper about it?
It really did. It writing helps me heal, which is I think which is I think something that's important for teenagers in that age because we hide a lot of things from like our parents and stuff and like our friends even like we won't even tell our friends what we're doing, but being able to write or even just speak it, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's with people or just by yourself, it it does allow you some kind of healing,
Yeah.
which is really helpful. So writing those poems about my dad, it did help me heal. Now, do have a long way to go, but I'm getting there. So
Yeah.
That's
I like
honest,
that.
and
Yes.
honesty is the best policy. I know it's an old saying, but a major can tell you
it's
now.
true.
Some of the stuff that we heard when we was your age, we was like, "What?" And when we hear it now, we like, "Oh, all right, yeah, we understand it." So
Yes.
just
That's yes.
yeah,
So
just
true.
I always just pay attention to little stuff like that. So going into your story, right? Kind of, tapping into Sydney's journey, right? We want to kind of talk about, some of the challenges that you overcome, through writing poetry. Kind of talk us through some of that, so that way we have a understanding of how important it was the poetry to you, and then how important it was to get it on a book like this.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
some challenges that I had to overcome. Really, being afraid to go forward with it. It was it was I like to write and I wanted it to be for myself, but when I came to realize that it would help like other teenagers and even like adults, it it can have an impact on people
Absolutely.
because some people have been through the same things I've been through, have the same views as me and opinions, and I feel like I had to overcome that fear of what the book could be
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm.
because I was afraid that maybe some people wouldn't like it or agree with me because I used to be really I used to think about a lot everyone's opinion for a very long time. But I had grown. I can't make anyone's mind up about what they think or their opinion. So I just came up with the book and now it's doing well. So
So
Yeah.
some of the things that I kind of gathered from the story, and I'm only going off of what you released. And I will say this just real quick. Stuff that you put in public view, people are gonna critique, people are gonna have an opinion. So I'm hoping that mom talk to you about that and just prepared you for that, because there's always gonna be, winners and losers. And, winners, losers, losers lose, but winners play until they win. You know what I mean? And I want you to just keep winning and keep playing as long as you can. But I saw that there was a period where you had a speech impediment, right? And
yes,
then you had some comprehension challenges. I wanted you to kind of tap into that a little bit so people can know how just the outlet of writing, kind of help, guide you through that process.
uh, well, with my stuttering, I wasn't really a big talker. I think that as time went on, I did become more talkative, but I I feel as though that writing helped me be able to speak my mind when I was so afraid to speak because of my stuttering. And then with
Mm.
my reading comprehension, I struggled with that for a really long time, but it has gotten a lot of better. And I think writing poetry it did help because I was able to write something that I could comprehend.
Mm, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So it allowed me to ask the question for you to answer it the right way, because I was trying to figure out what whether I mean, not saying that you never thought about writing poetry before, but normally when people journal, I think anybody who has the mindfulness and the discipline to journal can be somebody that can be creative, because they have the discipline to do it all the time. And I think that a lot of times, what we miss is oftentimes when we want to do something, depending on what it is or what field it may be in, we have to have some discipline about ourselves. So I knew that kind of, reading through some of what I learned and then talking to mom and then kind of piecing it together, I already knew that there was some challenges there and, some rough nights. I mean, and we go through them. I mean, so even with you, so there's a rapper that I would say to me in my books is probably one of my all-time favorite rappers, but he probably, your mother probably wouldn't want you to be listening to him, but he has a statement in one of his songs where he said either we're going into a storm, we're going out of a storm, or we're just getting out of. Is it either going through a storm, or it's going through a storm, we in a storm, or we going out of a storm? And I mean, for me, I think it's a perfect example of life, because sometimes we go through some rough patches, right? People catch us at the rough patch stage, but then people may catch us in the stage where we kind of in it, and we might not look at people the same way, our mind everywhere, and now we meet people at a place where we're out of it and we're more clear, we think better, you know what I mean? So I feel like anything that we go through, discipline is got to be involved, and we got to always understand that there's a light at the end of that tunnel. It might be dark for a while, because I know mine was dark for some years, but at some point it gets better. And like I've been saying, all this year, I'm glad I caught myself, but I've been saying it all this year. And one of the things that I say a lot is, Sydney, be a part of the change you want to see for yourself, right? And you did that. You tapped in, you put in effort, you put in time, and look what came out of it. And you going to high school. So can you imagine with that type of discipline what you can do from high school on up to college? And so I am excited to see the progression of this. You know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of young people that tap into their gift, and I mean, I would love them to. We got some mothers and fathers that want them to be who they used to be in high school. Oh, I want you to go play football. I want you to go, do this. And I just want kids like yourself. I just want y'all to tap into who you are and let us, support you 100% and let that thing flourish. So, we got a lot of.
And then also, I wanted to say too is, especially like what you said, Kevin. Definitely like being true, but then also what I'm proud of is how vulnerable, Sydney, you are at this age. Do you know how, like, especially your teenage years, it takes you so long to be so vulnerable. Like, this book of poetry to me was very vulnerable, very from the heart. And then, like, for you to just put it out there, I think that was definitely a fantastic thing to do, because I just know when I was that age, I would have been so afraid to do something like this. I mean, I'm going to say, even at my age now, I'm still afraid to do certain things like that, because you're just so worried about, oh my God, what are people going to say and all this sort of stuff. So for you to do it at this age now, like, I feel like you're like 10 steps ahead of the average, I do like the average 16-year-old, because I mean, because I'm just trying to imagine, like, you 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to be gone. So, I mean, I'm telling you, so just to be this vulnerable, to me, that was huge.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, because think about it. That's a piece that you tapped into, and now it's allowed your confidence to be built. You're more active in school. Maybe you're more social. You may talk a little bit more. So we just never know, what could be hindering us. We look at it as a hindrance, but we got to kind of channel that and look at it as a challenge. Like, okay, let me see how I can overcome this. Because we shouldn't give up so quick, right? And I mean, we look around us, and some of the stuff, even in your book, you talk about the challenges through COVID. You talk about, Trump, and you went a little bit everywhere. And when I was reading, I was like, okay, these kids is smarter than we thought. They paying attention more than we think. Like we might say something to y'all. And I mean, for me, that's what I got out of it. I got out of it that, you and mom dudes might not talk about certain things as much, but if she asks you, like, oh yeah, I know about that. And so I think, again, that's the part that we got to tap into. Like, Dad, you know about that? What you know about that? So, when I learned about the 3 branches of government, my mind went left from there. I was like, wait, is 3 branches? They was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I just thought you just got locked up and you went to jail. They was like, nah, it's 3 branches of government. I was like, oh. So, when you expand your mind, it's a beautiful thing. But I guess both of us, we kind of both wanted to ask you, like kind of where did the poetry come from? Like where did you develop it?
So it started in 3rd and 5th grade. So in 3rd grade, I wrote this kind of short story for this project that I had to do for my class. It was an actual book. My teacher got like these small storybooks. And I wrote my own little story. I have no idea what the story was actually about, but I do remember writing it. And then in 5th grade, my teacher kind of did like this pamphlet of like the different types of poems. So that's where it really developed.
Because I learned that too. I learned that in college. I didn't know it was. You know what I mean? Like I thought. I don't know what I thought about poetry, but I understand now that it's different types of poems. So that's dope. Yeah.
Then I developed my love for poetry because then I just started writing about like what was in the news, what I was feeling, whatever I wanted. I just started writing it, and I was typing it into my old poem book when I was a little kid, and that's just where it all came from. That's how it all started. That was the foundation.
I'm just curious. To you, why did you think it was poetry? Because it could have been anything, right? Like you could have just been writing stuff down, right? Like why? How did you define it as this is poetry?
Well, I knew that it was. I knew that one of the types of poems were free verse, so I just wrote short stanzas, and I just put who I was into the poetry, and my opinions and my views.
Wow, I like that.
I was going to ask you, Sydney, with it's piggyback on where the poetry came from. Is there any poets that you read or look up to, or?
Yes. Maya Angelou. Alexander, Ruby Kaur, and Young Pueblo.
Oh.
Those are the main books that I read.
Yeah. Okay.
So we know a lot of things do healing to us if we allow them to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so from what we're hearing that poetry kind of helps you in a traumatic mindset, if that makes sense. So talk about how the writing, the actual poetry, how did it help heal, your mental? Like how did it calm you down?
It helped my healing. It helped my healing from my father feeling like I was viewed as perfect all the time, and that really wasn't how I was.
Okay.
And just like the things that I used to be really like self-conscious or insecure about. So it helped me heal and grow and create the person I am now. Because I used to be really like I didn't at all think anything amazing about myself.
Really?
Until I got older, because when you're young, it's like you have everybody saying everything, and you care about fitting in and trying not to be different. But but you soon come to realize that when you fit in, you're being that stigma that everybody puts on everyone that's in the in crowd. When in crowd is really just being somebody that they're not.
Your mother is tagging everybody. Tagging everybody. She like, yeah, my baby on. Come on here now. Come on.
Sorry.
It's all good. I'm loving it. I'm thinking I'm missing comments. These people getting tagged in. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Let's do it. I mean, I'm just enjoying listening to the fact that you literally, bought into the fact that, there was probably something technically wrong, but you found a way to fix it, if that makes sense. Like without it being, too specific. I mean, because I think even for me, right? Even for me, one of the things, and I mean, you might laugh when I say this, and that's okay, right? But one of the things for me that triggers me and puts me in that kind of state is when, like, if somebody like really like disrespects me or like talks bad about me, you know what I mean? Because I mean, me personally, I'm a good spirited person, I think, at most times. So I care about people. I have a sense of empathy and things of that nature. So I think when people try to assassinate my character, it does bother me a little bit. It does bother me because I'm like, what did I do to you to make you want to attack me like that? You know what I mean? And so I think one of the things that I had to learn was I had to understand that those people are probably attacking me because they would love to be me. And that's the part that I had to understand, because I'm like, I ain't nobody. Like I tell Angel sometimes, like I ain't nobody. Like ain't nobody paying attention to me. But in hindsight, they are. You know what I mean? And so I think that I have developed this system where if it happens, I kind of look at it and decide that if it's not worthy of me, worthy of my energy, I just don't deal with it at all. I don't comment on it. I don't pursue it. I just leave it alone. And I think for me, it's been better for me. You know what I mean? As I get older. And I think even for you, when certain things happen, I mean, you're gonna want to react. I mean, because a lot of us are gonna want to react, right? But we think about react and respond. And just to me, respond just sounds a lot calmer than reacting. Because reacting, you have no idea what you're gonna do when you react.
I think it's more like a proactive and then react response.
Look, I have stand corrected. I have been stand corrected. But yes, that's kind of what it is, right? That's kind of what it is. And I mean, I can applaud that, just understanding, what you needed to do, because I know it wasn't easy. I can just imagine.
And then too, Kevin, like at this age though, like that's what's amazing me. Like at this age, even back to Sydney, when you were talking about like, when you were younger, how you kind of had that sense of like, oh, I gotta belong. Oh, I gotta kind of do what everybody wants to do. There's still people our age that still feel like that. They still gotta belong. They still gotta go with the crowd. They still gotta be everybody else. So I really too applaud you again for even realizing that at your age now. Like, there's no need. Well, first of all, like, you have a sense where you already belong anyway, so it's no need to go with the crowd and gotta be like everybody else. So I like that, like how you kind of turned that around. Like, I am amazing because I'm unique. It takes people like 30-some years to realize that. It takes people a long time. Like people, like Kevin, like there's still people our age that still want to be part of the crowd. That still gotta have that sense of belonging, and it's just like it's not that serious. Like, it's never that serious.
Like a box that they're trying to stay in.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Are
Yes.
there any other avenues you explore creatively when you try to cope with, when things come up and you need to cope? Do you do other things?
Music.
Okay.
I make beats.
Say what now?
Oh,
Make beats.
Oh yeah.
that's cool.
Okay.
Okay, so but Sydney, do you rap? Because poetry and rapping and hip hop. I mean, it's all. So you haven't tried that out yet.
Nah, she want to be Dr. Dre. She want to be behind the.
You
She
can
Behind
want
the
to be
definitely
scenes.
the
be
rap.
a songwriter or something like. You definitely have a talent for that too. So
Are we?
you
I
can
mean,
definitely try that out if you want.
will we ever see? Will we ever see any of that? Like, are we working on that for it to
Work,
come out? Like, what do we?
working on it.
Okay.
I try to set my goals to work on it because I stopped for a really long time.
Tangible
So
dreams. I love it. Tangible
I need
dreams.
to,
I love it, man. I
to
love tangible
balance,
dreams.
time manage.
I love it, man.
I
I'm not
like
sure. I'm not
that.
sure who this is, because I can't see it. It's somebody from the group. But somebody said that people who don't have anything to lose do have problems helping you lose everything. No response says a lot. So I'm not 100% if we can gather what that means, but that's like when I see comments, I try to breeze through them, but when I see things and real quick, it makes sense to put it up because it's something that'll make you think, and that's something that will definitely make you think right there. You know what I mean? So I think in each moment, that's what I try to provide. I try to provide perspective and thinkings from everybody, and when I see something, I put it up so we all can be in a, just when we get off, we like, damn, okay, I think I know what I need to do now, because we all going through our own stuff, Sydney. I'm 44, right? I know I probably don't look 44, but I'm 44 years old, and trust me, I didn't really get to where you are mentally until I was probably like maybe 29, 30.
I
Like literally,
mean,
like
shoot,
I'm not even gonna lie to you.
mine was further than that. I mean, that's it's amazing. It's amazing to me. That's why I said, Sydney, you're amazing. You have already kind of tackled those sort of issues that it takes people a long time to get to. I'm telling you. So, yeah.
I think even with like seeing people around me at school and seeing how people are either trying to be somebody they're not, or they're scared to be who they are because they don't act out and stuff like that, because kids can be cruel.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think kids my age, they are still trying to learn that we have to block out all the negativity that people are going to think about them, because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
And you 16 and you know that?
I know what I'm saying.
That's a great job, man. I ain't even mad. And you just said the way you said it, like you said it, that you totally understood what you were saying. So at 16, that's perfect. Because you're gonna be able to see stuff and you're gonna be nope.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. I ain't gonna deal with that. Nope.
You're gonna be wasting
that,
no you're not gonna be wasting no time. No
time. Moving. Excuse me. No, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. I'm good. But I wanna tap into this. I wanna tap into the actual inspiration that motivated you to become an author, because that's kind of where I am. So I kind of want you to talk to me about what inspired you and how did that process look? Like, I know it was a lot. I've talked to people about writing a book. I've been saying I wanted to do it, and I think honestly, reading yours, I mean, I got maybe three. I think I maybe got 4 books now from people that I know that wrote it and have read the books, but for some reason it still hasn't jumped up at me for me to do it. And now when I see you've done it, you're 16. I'm like, damn, Slim. All right, you should be able to do this too. So give me kind of your inspiration behind, becoming an author, because I knew it was a lot with that.
My inspiration for that motivated me to become an author was really wanting to inspire other kids my age and let them know that they're not alone or by themselves. Like people, you will really find out that some people they have a different story, but it can be similar. Because the way people grow up and their surroundings, it can really make an impact on who they become as a person. But who they decide to become can grow them into the person that they could be. So I wanted to share my poetry with everyone so that they know that you can be hurt and be in pain, but you can also heal from that and become what you think you could be.
What? Absolutely.
She just told us. She just told us. That's okay. Yeah. So we want to get a little nosy. What's going on over there? You all right?
I'm sorry. You going to say something? I am just.
She in Maryland. She up there with all them germs. So we gotta.
Kevin, just because the storm is coming through in Florida, just now you can washing away y'all's little germs.
But we take our supplements and we stay out the way. We stay out the way. We stay out the way. See. What? I'm just saying we do. We take our supplements and we stay out the way. That's it. So Sydney, do you have the book? Do you have the book on you, near you? Okay. So this is what we want you to do. We want you to go in the book and we want you to read a few of your most favorite entries in the book. Like I've read a couple of them. So if you do a couple and you don't read the ones that I like, then I may say, "Oh, can you read that one?" So just breeze through it really quick and just maybe give us like 3 entries that like some of your favorites.
Yeah.
Just so people can have a taste of what it is that's in the book.
I don't really have any favorites. I'll be honest. The book has been out for almost 6 months. I haven't read the whole thing through.
Really?
I don't know how to read my own stuff in a book. It's weird.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Is that normal? Is that like?
I think it's
that happen often?
I think it's.
I get it.
Okay.
I kind of like when people cook, they was like, "Oh, I don't really cook. I don't really eat my own cooking," but this is one of those things.
It's
okay.
You wrote it, so you can't it's hard to read it through.
Nah, I ain't letting you off. I ain't letting you off easy. It's still early. So no, I'm gonna pick a couple, and we got the book, so we're gonna follow along. So the first one that I like that caught my eye was on page 10. The Overthinker. It made me think. I was like,
okay.
Okay. Overthinking, my best and worst trait. A constant game of chess in my mind, hoping I don't make a mistake. So I'll be able to say checkmate.
Yeah. And so for me, I tend to do that often, right? I tend to overthink stuff all the time. And I'm trying to learn now not to do that, right? Because sometimes the overthinking part can turn into anxiety, and then anxiety turns into depression. So a lot of times we do stuff to ourselves first. And we got to understand that in order for us to break that, then we can go in, okay, let me stop doing this. Let me try to stop doing that. Let me think things through. Let me do this. Let me do that. So it can be tricky sometimes. Yeah, you got a couple of them. You got a couple of them that I look through.
I know. I have one.
Go ahead. You can do one. Go ahead.
I have one. So, Cindy, I like the Sunrise poem. It's on page 5.
Okay, gotcha.
The sunrise. Sometimes I sit back and watch the sunrise, wondering in life, what is the prize? Is it your purpose, family, or friends? Is it things we prioritize? Could it be the way you live your life? I watch the sunrise for my mental health, something that needs to be normalized. They say good health brings good wealth. It's all about your mindset. You can either like have growth or fix. Fix comes with regrets. Growth comes with progress. My advice is to sit back and watch the sunrise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that one.
So I read this, right?
Mhm.
And I'm sitting on the patio. Then I jump into the water. And then the sunrise is coming up. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, people don't really stop to think like how peaceful watching the sunrise is. Like it has some type of mental calming because you don't think about nothing. Like it don't really be nothing in your head. You just kind of
Mm-hmm.
just in the moment, right? And so reading that, and I mean, even just getting to the part where it says, something that we need to normalize, which is,
Mm-hmm.
our mental health. And I know, a lot of times people don't really like to tap into that part of their world, but we have to, because now at our age, we understand that it's so important to have this right, or everything could be off. You know what I mean? So I mean, I thought that one was a really good one too. But
Yeah, I like that
you
one.
got a couple of them in here that I thought was really nice.
Mhm.
Cry for help. Um, One was life after death. Um, One that was
Yeah,
called hope. I mean, emotions. I did like the emotions ones.
yeah, I like
Lesson
you.
learned. Like it was a couple, and so I was just folding the pages to the ones that I liked it the most. But this is a nice little nugget right here. I'm gonna keep
It
this,
is.
even for my daughter. Like if
I
my
mean,
daughter
it's
needs something to read,
and you know what, Kevin? It's for all ages. Like this is
yeah,
for grown men, grown women, kids, teenagers. Because I know I got a lot out of it, especially the black girl one. Because I even told myself I may even tear it out and frame it so I can remember this before I go out in the world in the morning. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, like I need stuff like this. So when I saw the black girl, because that's one of my favorites too. It's on page 40. But the black girl poem, like, no, I think this. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased, but any black woman should definitely read this poem. So to me, it's for any age for real. So
I mean 16. I mean that's some growth. I think some adults can learn from what's that saying? Old dog can't teach a new dog. No, a new dog can't teach an old dog new tricks or something like that.
or is it like you can't teach an old dog new
New
tricks?
trick. I know it's something crazy like that. Some little young dude said that to me one day, and it just went in one end out the other end. Because I'm like, you
Because
don't
he's
even know
calling
how to
you an
read
old
all
dog.
the way
Cause
yet, so
yeah,
I don't want to hear that.
and he's calling you an old dog. So are you the old
Yeah,
dog, Kevin?
I don't know why people be testing me, talking about I'm old and all. I ain't old. If anything, I'm getting better because I'm still here.
What,
And I hate to say that
Kevin?
way, but I'm
What are
still
you?
here. I got all my teeth, all my toes still work. Both my knees, they crack a little bit, but they work. Like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm getting old. Oh, you getting old, man. Look, but you better be happy to even get my age. This Joker
I'm
out here,
telling you, that's
man.
so
Listen,
true.
don't get me
That's so
started. Do
true.
not get me started. But I wanted to ask, how does it feel? Like, how does it feel knowing you're an author? Like, you're somebody that can walk down the street and just in talking with somebody and meeting them, you can be like, oh yeah, I'm an author. I wrote a book. They could be like, for real? And you give them your information and they pull up and they like, damn, she really did write a book for real. Like, how does that, like, have you been getting I don't want to say inboxes, but have you been getting messages from people in
Uh,
regards to how the
Oh
book
yeah,
impacted them, and
yeah.
like kind of talk about that?
I actually got yeah a couple messages from my inbox. and people were like they like the book. I've seen comments about it on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, and people really do engage with it. And I think for me, it still feels kind of weird when I tell people, yeah, I wrote a book because it's surreal. Like it doesn't seem real, but it is, and it's my new reality that I live in. Because before it was just these Google Docs, and now they're in an actual book form. So
Yeah.
still kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Listen, I just need to know. I just need to know what can we expect from Lovely Work of Art Volume 2. Like what can we I know school is starting. I know this is gonna be a new journey, but in your mind, what are some of the things you think you're gonna tap into?
Well, I mean, for the people here, just a little bit. The book's almost done. Second one. The second book is almost done.
Wow. When can we
Wow.
can we get on the VIP list? I would love to get there before everybody else.
A signed copy. As well.
Yeah, to be able to say I got it before you. Nah.
The second book, what you can expect in the second book, very much more in depth with my life and my feelings. I feel like in the first book I was more reserved because I was trying to
You held back a little bit.
yeah, held back a little bit. It was the first one.
Yeah.
Now I'm into the second one, and it's more. It talks about more things that I didn't talk about.
And do you know why?
Huh?
You're more confident now.
Mm-hmm.
You see what confidence does? It does something special to us,
Confidence
and we don't even know it.
It'll bring a different side out of you. And I think the second book might actually be better than the first one. I think. I feel like the second one really deep. It's much more deep.
Nah, but see, me honestly, if we really talking about the different phases, I'm looking forward to 3.
Oh,
because 3, you're gonna be an adult, and it's gonna be more of it's gonna be adult content. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting for the adult content. I'm not saying that there's got to be anything expletive or anything like that. I'm just saying your adult thinking. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm cool. I'm cool to get 2. I'm cool to get 2 because we're gonna support this thing from start to finish. But 2 is fine. But I'm looking for 3. I'm looking for 3.
Yeah, and and Sydney, don't forget us when you.
I will tell everybody that this is my first interview. That they brought me on here. I did listen.
Because you're gonna be going places. Sydney's gonna be on Oprah. We're gonna be like, hey, remember we interviewed
Hurricane outside. We interviewed Sydney and I almost died in the hurricane. Man, interviewing Sydney, man. That's crazy. But so lastly, we like to leave, on a good positive note, So we wanna know from you, what encouragement would you give to another young person that may be having a difficult time with their trauma? Like what type of advice or what type of encouragement would you give them to allow them to keep going? Because we know it's difficult, as you know yourself. So what type of, encouragement would you give that type of person?
Mm-hmm. 3 things. 1, be surrounded by people who want to see you succeed. 2, always, and I mean always, protect your peace, even if that means blocking everyone. And number 3, I would have to say, just try to make sure that you're okay before you make sure that everyone else is. Because when you put everyone else first, that it'll do something to your mental health, and it'll just end in you either crying or wanting the whole world to just stop. The world keeps spinning, because when the world keeps spinning, that means that you keep driving. So
And so I just want to go a little bit more detail, right? So sometimes kids feel like they probably don't have the best relationship with their parent to kind of talk to them, right? And so even if that may be the case, would you give like a kid an option? Like what would be a safe option outside of mom or dad if they didn't think that they could talk to some of that stuff about their with their parents? Like what would be like another safe option for you?
Either a friend that you trust or your cousin.
Yeah.
Cousins are the best.
Yeah, because I feel like they're closer to your age and they can understand better.
Yeah.
So that basically can be advice from her age on up to our age. Like I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean that to me, I will say that's really good. I mean, to me, like grown advice too.
Yes.
Again, I'm just like, because I'm just amazed because this is stuff that I had to learn like not that long ago. So yeah. So I'm just like really impressed and just really amazed by you, Sydney. So it's a great sign that all isn't lost in the generation behind us.
Yeah, because I know it seems like we're all just that we all just don't care. But there are a select few that are leaders and they want to see the world be better and they want to also be better themselves.
Yeah, no, this is good. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, like I said, I didn't want it to be too long. I mean, like I said, I know it's a school night. We kind of like at an hour right now, which is beautiful for us because we be long-winded with it. But your mother, she put the website in the comments a few times. And I just wanted to say, if you need anything from us, like far as, if you're trying to put something out there on social media, we'll always be welcome for us to share whatever you got going on our pages as well, so people can see it. Because I'm a firm believer that network marketing is it's like one of the best things ever. Like network marketing is something as simple as you going to the movies and then telling somebody else that movie was good. They go see the movie and then they go tell somebody else, and then it just keeps going. So that's, to me, is like the best marketing ever. Like if you got 3,000 people that's cool with me, and if I say, hey man, this Sydney, man, check Sydney out, man, 2,000 people may check you out. You know what I mean? I mean, just might see you, and then 10 people might buy the book. So I mean, I just never know. So I always just want people to feel free to say, hey, reach out to me and let me know. I mean, like right now we got the Cash App, on the screen, just in case somebody want to, show some kindness, show some motivation, show some encouragement, some support. I mean, so Sydney, I'll tell you this: when I first started this, I didn't realize how supportive people were until I started like selling merchandise. And once I started selling merchandise, I was even scared to make the merchandise $30 for a t-shirt or $40 for a t-shirt, or it was hard pressed for me to sell a hoodie for $50, but people were buying it though. And I mean, the quality of the product was good too, but I didn't know that people will, let me get a hoodie, and so you just never know when people are paying attention. You just never know. You know what I mean? Like people might not come up to you and say to you stuff that you're doing or whatever, but just know that they watch. They are watching, and they and from what I see, they see great things. So I want you to just, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, again, if a brother can get number 2 on the slab or back end, let me know.
What I can do.
But yeah, but like I told your mother, I was inboxing your mom earlier, so I may double back and text her to get in contact with you later on about some visual stuff that I might want to start doing, and I don't mind taking care of you on that for me, because I feel like it's kind of if I don't know how to do something, I try to reach out to people that know how to do what I don't know how to do, and I would rather take care of them to do it than me. That's just me. Because if I don't know how to do it, I don't want to look crazy and do it and it look crazy. I don't want to do that to myself. but to everybody that's in the comments, man, I mean, I've been trying to post most of the comments. I think is Sharon Combs, is that your aunt or your grandma?
That's my grandma.
So grandma been going off in these comments. Just because grandma been going off.
That's grandma.
She be going on, man. She be going on. She is. That's one of your biggest supporters right there. Trust me.
Yeah.
I didn't show all her comments, but she been and her comments been in all caps. So I know she mean what she say. She mean what she say. Oh man, that's funny, man. But I mean, honestly, when we just were definitely happy to have you on.
Thank you,
right now. I'm just sharing. Amachi, my co-host, she has a platform as well, and she has a blog, and she can kind of talk to you about it a little bit. But I was going to say that you might want to check her blog out too, because we've been hearing from people who have bought her journal say that the journaling has been helping them as well. So Amachi can tap into her whole thing, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, so Sydney, I'm kind of on the same lines as you are. I have a blog, and it's called the Amachi Effect, and it's basically my way also of healing, just from certain things. So I put it down in writing, and in the blog, it goes from everything from like love to grief to, just making you, just trying to, I guess, I want to share some of the secrets of this stuff that I've been through to kind of like make you a better person or a better version of yourself. But it all came from healing. It all came from me finally having the gut and putting stuff on paper. So that's why you're so amazing to me, because at 16, I wanted to do something like that, but I was so scared. So now at 42, I'm actually doing something like that. So that's what the blog is about. And then I just have a gratitude journal that, basically just giving gratitude to whatever you want every day, because just being thankful and being grateful does change your mindset in life. So it's just a gratitude journal, and it has prompts every day that you can just write down what you're grateful for and how to make today an amazing day. So that's basically my stuff that I have out there.
We'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Hey, Cindy, like Amachi said, man, don't forget about us, okay?
Of course, I will never
when you have your Tyler Perry moment, please.
We had her.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry moment.
Give me tickets. Just give me tickets to the event. We'll be there.
I'm telling you, yes.
And everything.
Yeah. 3 tickets.
That's a bet. Well, look, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That's kind of it, man. We want you to just keep shining, man. Just keep shining, man.
Yes.